mistakes are going to happen, and managing this is a real problem. And in the end, when you give it to the client, well, the client's not going to know what they want, and they're going to use it in ways you haven't expected, and they're going to complain, and you're going to write something that you think is perfect, but they won't understand it, and things. So you've got to really understand the human end here. So the human end is sort of parts of this diagram, I think, are even more important than going from problem to solution. Though, of course, you've got to be able to do that. Yeah, George.
That is a very good point. But as a side note about the COMP2911, I've got it for the class.
I'm not hassling you. Yeah. Good on you for doing it.
Because Andrew said, no one has come to me and asked for an extension, so we'll just go with what we've got. And I was like, can it be due in on Monday? And he was like, for what reason? I'm like, COMP2911 is hard. Yeah. So then he extended it to Monday.
The best time anyone's ever asked me for an extension, because you know I hate handing out extensions, not because I'm a ruthless bastard, not because I'm not a ruthless bastard, but it's got nothing to do with my bastardity level, is because I actually don't think it helps you giving you an extension. I think it actually sets up patterns of behaviour that are bad. But one student once did come up to me and said, or maybe I read this, but I'd like to think it actually happened to me. Someone said, can I have a week extension for a week excuse? And I said, oh, you're on. But that only happens once in a lifetime, I think. So you can't use that one again. Okay, so what I want to get to is, if you're burning yourself out in this course and working really, really hard, and you're really depressed and tired, and nothing's working, and everything's turning to grey and goop, and you're stressed, and your other courses are suffering, who's got to solve that problem? Yeah, you could say it's me, but I won't. Oh no, Malcolm Ryan's here to hear Richard Vickery speak.
No, Richard moved here.
Richard spoke. Oh. He came at 3. I did. I can't believe I did that. I did get you a watermelon though. I'm so sorry. He recorded it. I'll show you that recording. He did. I'm very sorry. What, is it good? Was it fantastic? Someone asked me to put the video up. I'm sorry, he had to run off because at the last minute his kids needed to be picked up from school, so I asked if he could do it an hour earlier. I didn't even think to, didn't have that dependency stored in my head. But you had something else on now that you could run to and not miss?
Yeah, that's true. It's not good.
I'm really sorry.
It's not entertaining to come and watch you lecture.
You are welcome to be here, of course. I don't think I've ever taught you, but I think you were one of my tutors in the early years, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Back when I started being a lecturer.
Get through a whole session about talking to you while I was your tutor. So.
Oh, really? Fantastic. Okay, so I'm very, very sorry. That's for you. That's for you. Yeah, don't insult me by turning it down. Yeah, if you don't want it, you don't need it.
Throw it off the roof.
No, keep it. You never know when it'll come in handy. You can have a fairly good idea, but you can never really know. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Sorry. Can everyone just clap Malcolm Ryan for coming here and being so nice? And they should all do your game design course. And this is the reason Malcolm's here. He's got an awesome game design course. It's the best course in CSE. And he wanted to say hi to Richard because Richard's an awesome legend too. I'll make sure we'll all have lunch together.
Excellent.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I'm very sorry. See you, Malcolm. Now, I was berating you guys for something, wasn't I? Yeah. But, you know, I'm not berating you. What I'm trying to say is when things go crazy and nuts, this is what's going to happen in your work life. Yeah, your boss is going to give you a job and it's going to take longer than you think. And you're going to start missing your family and not going home, and the work's going to get more and more stressful and more stressful. And it will never change. And you'll always think it's a one-off and, oh, next week it'll be different and it never will. So you've actually got to jump on this thing right now. So the plan that I'm trying to teach you in this course is how do we approach a really big, ill-defined problem that we know we want to do a good job on, and we know the scope is way too big for our assets, the amount of time we've got, the amount of people we've got working on it. How do we approach that problem? Do we do it by burning out and working really hard? No, that's what first years do. What do we do now in second year and forever on? We outsource it? No, that's third year. But, you know, that's a part of the solution. What do we do? How do we solve it? Yeah. You plan it in advance, and what do you do to the problem? Because it's like the old joke about how do you fit 4 elephants in a mini miner? That's a good answer. I didn't know that answer. My one, what we always said when we were in primary school is you put 2 in the front and 2 in the back. It's got actually nothing about solving the problem because you could never fit 4 elephants in a mini miner. It's just trivially delegating to a separate, smaller, yeah. So planning it and rearranging your time still not going to help you if that's all you do, because you've still got the problem that you've got something that's way too big to fit into the available time. But planning and thinking ahead is a critical first step. And after you've planned and worked out about the job and thought about the job, what do you then do? Small steps, baby steps. And first you do...
Whatever you can.
No.
What's worth the most?
What's worth the most? The most important thing that you can. Yeah, you've got to be able to do it. So you pick you pick the most important thing that's feasible to do, and you do that. And do you just half do it and then start adding the next feature and adding the next feature? No, you get it finished, you test it, you run it, it's perfect. Only when it's finished, you then
Do the next thing.
do the next most important thing and the next most, and then at some point, time runs out and you stop. Because my fear is looking at the forum posts about this assignment and talking to the tutors, and even the tutors are doing this, and it makes sense you do it, because in the middle of the course you take your eye off the ball and you start to forget and you drift back to old days. My sense is a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to go for the HD, I'm going to go for the best, I'm going to do the best thing, and they see it as a big, enormous problem, and they don't know how to focus it and start on it, tackle it, and they can't try and do a BDUF, big design up front, and they try and work a plan that'll do everything, and then they sit down and they program it and they do like 18 hours, some people are saying they're spending on their design. And at the end of the 18 hours, they still don't have anything that works because there's a problem or something like that. And this is just insane. You never go for 18 hours without something that works. You go for 20 minutes without something that works. For longer than that, you start to get itchy. So if you're doing the networking one now, what you should do is the smallest thing you can possibly do. And people are asking all these questions on the forum about big, elaborate, complex things. And it's clear they haven't got things working. I'm thinking, you haven't got stuff working and you're trying to solve the big problem? What are you thinking? It's just a way of pain. Because when you try and solve the big problem and nothing's working, then what happens is you write the big thing and you run it and it doesn't work. And then you go, I don't even know what's not working. You would if you'd done it step by step by step by step. You'd know exactly where the error was. But I'm seeing people that don't even have a clue about what part in this really complex system. So if you notice, there's two sorts of design tasks I've been giving you. One is the OO design type tasks, and you've had the chess, and you had the enigma and the lock. And then the other type of task I've given you is big, ill-defined problem where you can do interesting things, which is the sky's the limit. And that was reversing the text and... the audio, reversing the audio. The current one, the networking one, and the GUI one. Yeah, you can't finish those. You know, people talking about going for an HD. What are you thinking? Go for a pass first, then go for a credit, then go for a D, and then go for an HD, only if you've got all your other exams done and your courses are, don't start off heading for the HD. I was trying to explain it to my wife, and she said, oh, we call that in her work, she says, we call that, I wrote it up, death or glory. That's a death or glory approach. You go, I'm going for the top. I'm going for the big one. There's no intermediate. And I said, well, what happens when people go into death or glory projects? And she said, well, normally it ends in death. And I said, it's the same in computing. George.
Just as a side note, what is pass level for the networks?
For the network, you get an HTTP single file censored. Right. A tiny little single file, you rewrite some words in it, you've got a pass. You've probably got a credit.
Yeah, because that's the credit.
Yeah.
So I was wondering what a pass was.
Oh, well, the pass is like a credit level. Yeah, I mean, pass is you do that with... I reckon, I'm expecting a credit from everyone, so I'm giving the credit level. Pass is you do that and your code is crap.
Oh, okay.
Okay? You pull it off, but you've got crap code or something like that. So, does it make sense what I'm saying? So, get these tasks and start small and go bigger. And I see some people trying to, using HTTPS, download a file with multimedia in it. And they haven't got it working. I'm thinking, you're using HTTPS? And you're doing multimedia, you're doing like HD work on this assignment, and you haven't got, get the little one working first. Then do the next one, then do the next one. And after 3 or 4 hours, stop. Unless you're really interested in networking and you want to use it in your assignment or want to learn it for your own benefit, in which case this is a great chance to learn it, so keep going. And by 3 or 4 hours, by the way, with your lab partner, I don't mean, and this is something else I think is happening, and I understand why, because this is a vicious circle. Once you start doing this, you're stressed, you lose all ability to plan and cope, and everything goes up and your brain goes down. But what people are doing is they're turning up to the lab, not having done the prep, not understanding the problem. And they're sitting down, starting the design with their partner. Starting to learn networking with their partner at the start of the lab. No, do that before the lab. You've got to start coding when you're with your partner. You sit down and you code. So if there's things you've got to learn, watch that little video before and do this. And it's hard to do it if I get the labs out late and all that sort of stuff. But that's what you should be aiming for. 4 hours of serious coding and then stop. And maybe you'll only have the credit thing working, or maybe you'll have got to the HD thing. Who knows? But stop after 4 hours. Only keep going if you want. I don't want you to. I want you to stop. But if you really, really want to do it, keep going. But don't aim for the other thing and then kill yourself, because does that make sense? I'm saying the same thing over and over again. And normally when I rant on about things, imagine the expert programmers amongst you, the experienced programmers amongst you, often I think just switch off, because you think, yeah, I know this, because I taught myself Java before I came along. But this advice I'm giving now is aimed more to the expert programmers than anyone else. So if you normally switch off, switch on. And if you normally switch on, play a game. Okay? Because if you're an experienced programmer, you'll do this worse than anyone. Because up until now, you've probably been able to not take baby steps and everything's worked. But I want you from now on to always take baby steps. Never take a big step, just do baby steps. Once you get in that habit, it will stand you in good stead for the rest of your life. And you'll get to see your kid's birthday party, which is a good thing. Baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. I don't want 10 hours of not working. I want 20 minutes of not working. You write your unit test. And the other thing, I've got a ranting voice. I'm sounding like my mum when she's seen my bedroom. I've told you 500 times. What was I ranting about? You got to get a haircut. Unit test. Unit test. I think some people aren't writing unit tests anymore. If you don't write unit tests, it's fine if it's a trivial problem, but now you're dealing with a big networking problem. If you're not writing unit tests, then when you get an error in your networking, and you will, and that's why I picked networking, because there's layer within layer within layer within layer of things going on. If you hadn't written unit tests, when you get an error, you won't know where the error is coming from. Now, those more experienced programmers that have written unit tests do know where the error is coming from. They're still getting an error, and that's a hard problem, but it's a much better place to be. Some people don't even know where the error is coming from. And I'm hearing stories of, we spent 3 hours trying to debug. That's backwards. If you're spending 3 hours debugging, you've done a bad job, because you should have written the test and then run the code and written the test. Oh, a test didn't pass. I only tested one tiny little extra thing. I know exactly where the problem is. I understand it. I can solve it or I can't. But once you get to 3 hours debugging, that's telling me you've written a whole lot of crap, and then suddenly you're hoping it's all going to work, and it's not working, and you don't have a clue what's going on. It's just a bad, bad sign. So I'm not criticizing you, because I do this worse than anyone, or I used to, until I tried Fluorident. Now, the last thing I want to show you, then we're going to have a little break, is I actually have a little inspirational video from Sam here. So let's just see if we can make it louder. Now, how do I get volume working on this machine? Does anyone know? Is there a button? How do I do it? Does anyone know? Make volume. How do I make Windows loud? What's that? I go start, presumably. What's that? Volume. I didn't even try it. I asked you. How pathetic. All right, okay. All right, it looks like it's pretty loud. All right, I'm going to start this video. I only hope it works. Is it? No, it's this computer here. I'm not using my laptop. No? No sound at all? You stupid, stupid computer. I can't believe I'm not getting any sound.
Is the sound from that computer actually hooked up to the speaker sound?
It should be. Does anyone have any Fluorident? Oh, I can't believe we can't hear it. It's so incredibly sad. So I don't even know that I want to... What's that? Oh, your laptop? Can you get this one here? Oh, Chen? No, just play and I'll put a microphone on it. While Chen's doing this, let me just say, guys, what I did last night to get myself ready in the right frame of mind to tell you guys about how boring it is in the middle of semester, I watched the middle movie of The Lord of the Rings. You know, the one where it's not exciting and nothing's happening, it's just boring? And then my wife said, I can't watch this. It's so boring. And I said, it's got that big fight. It's quite exciting. She said, I'll only watch it if you agree we fast forward over every scene with Sam in it. And it was the best. I said to her afterwards, that's brilliant. That's what I got to tell my students. Because we only had 2 hours to watch the movie. We could have just watched the first 2 hours and gone home without seeing the exciting battle. Yeah, and that would have been hopeless. We could have burned ourselves out and stayed up past midnight watching the whole thing. That would have been hopeless. Instead, we did the most important thing, which was every scene that doesn't have Sam in it. But this is Sam. We need to hear Sam. Oh, now, how are we going to synchronise the sound? No, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Does that plug in?
No, don't even try. Don't even try.
Okay.
So just start playing the scene.
Just start playing it, and it'll put your... Here we go. Is everyone ready? Okay, he's just logging in. And so, while he's getting ready, this is the part of the film when Frodo goes to his pair programming partner. I can't do it, Sam. I cannot do it. And Sam says, yes, you can. And I want you to think of this when you're at home thinking, I can't do this bloody networking assignment. Look at his face. Look at that. He does look like Harry Potter. Oh, you can't see it?
No, you can't.
You can? Oh, okay, we're going to give us complete darkness because I think this is very important. Darkness fell. You ready?
No, I'm trying to connect to UniWide.
Oh, you have to connect. Oh, trying to connect to UniWide. That's small step. Baby step. No, I don't think it's possible to connect to UniWide. Oh, you're in?
I'm in.
Okay, everyone's ready. We're going to watch it. This is Frodo, by the way, if you haven't seen Lord of the Rings.
Well, I need to get the website.
Oh, okay. YouTube, watch, question mark. V equals JEM DXH, and that's a capital X, F capital O minus capital WK. Yeah, that's right. It is. It is. You got it? Okay, here we go. When you start, I'm going to start. I'll listen. You go. You be the boss.
Was this on?
It's self-started. It started.
Why can't I hear it?
Pick. Film. Oh. I'm trying. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, we're going to start from the beginning again.
Okay.
You ready? On your marks?
No,
Yeah, you go to the beginning.
we don't need that. My laptop's on it.
Oh, go to the very beginning. Oh, you can't see. Oh, I'm going to follow you anyway. Everyone else has gone home from the lab. It's just us. There goes my tutor.
Great stories, the ones that really matter. Full of darkness and danger they were. Sometimes you didn't want to know the end, because how could the end be happy? How could the world go back to the way it was when so much bad happened? But in the end, it's only a passing thing. The shadow, even darkness must pass. A new day will come. And when the sun shines, it'll shine out the clearer. Those are the stories that stayed with you. That meant something. Even if you were too small to understand why. But I think, Mr. Frodo, I do understand. I know now. Both of those stories had lots of chances of turning back, only they didn't. They kept going. Because they were holding on to something. Or at least they were too sad. There's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo. And it's worth fighting.
It's very moving, isn't it? So there you go. So just when you think you're going to give up, get your pair programming partner to step in the circle and say, don't give up. Remember what we're doing. There's something worth doing. Okay, thank you. All right, so we're going to have like an almost 0-second break now. So everyone move your head.